Okay, so today we are going to start the dicotyledon and monocotyledon stem. As I already told you a lot thing about these two topics, dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Now we have to see what kind of structural analysis we can see inside the monocot stem and dicot stem. What are the major differences, and you can see what are the similarities between both the stem. So if we talk about their introduction and overview in dicot stem, the vascular bundle are arranged in a ring formation. So you can say this is a very characteristic feature that the vascular bundle, which are the very fundamental thing of the dicot stem, they should be present in a ring. And also similar to the dicot root, if we compare the dicot root formation of vascular bundle, so at there also the vascular bundle are present inside the ring, and the same in the dicot stem, they are also present in the ring formation. Dicot stem have a layer of ground tissue called the cortex just beneath the epidermis. So we all know there are the three fundamental parts of every anatomical structure. The first and very outermost is epidermis. Then after this epidermis, we are having this cortex region, and cortex then will be followed by the vascular bundle. So here the ground tissue is called the cortex, and that is just present beneath the epidermis. So in the case of dicot stem study, we are calling the basically the cortex will be known as the ground tissue. In next here, the vascular bundle in the stem, they are arranged in a ring of cambium. So there will be a ring of the cambium will be present in the case of the vascular bundle plates, which contain cells that divide to expand the girth of the stem. So what is the major function of the cambium? Cambium is responsible for the secondary growth in the plant. So whatever the secondary growth happens inside the body of the plant, that basically responsible for the increase the girth of the plant. Primary growth increase the length of the plant, okay, and secondary growth increase the girth of the plant. So don't get confused in the primary growth and secondary growth. And if the cambium is present inside any body, not in only just dicot stem, if dicot root or sometime in dicot leaf, so their major perspective to present there is only to increase the girth of the length or increase the width of the plant. Now these are will be our aims and objective on which we will study the epidermis, cortex, vascular bundle, pericycle, ground tissue, and pin. So these are the following points we will be discussing when we are going to study the Luphi stem, which is basically the dicot stem. And in the same case of for the monocotyledon stem, we will be taking the G maze. Okay, G maze will be studied for the monocot plant, and the Luphi stem. This is we will study it for the dicot stem. So let's see what are the major following details that the TS will be giving us. The very first here, the wavy outline. Okay, the whole whole the structure is basically wavy in the outline. The outline structure is little wavy, usually with 5 ridges and 5 furrows. So there are 5 ridges and 5 furrows are present. So these 5 ridges and 5 furrows, which are present inside the stem of the dicot, they are basically present because of having the secondary growth. When secondary growth happens, they will be converted into the cord cambium. Okay, the cord cambium, when it's present in the outer circle, they made some ridges. Ridges are just like some up down depression in the plant. So that's why these furrows and ridges are present on the outer covering of the stem. 10 vascular bundle remain arranged in 2 rings of each. So there will be 2 rings of 5 vascular bundles. So total vascular number are 10, but there are 2 rings. So each ring will be having 5 vascular bundles. Now the first part we will see here, the epidermis. Epidermis is the most important part of the all organism, or you can say all the part So basically, this is a very first and very important anatomical structure, because what is the major function of epidermis? They protect the cell. Entire anatomical feature inside the plant anatomy, the cortex, the epidermis, pericycle, endodermis. These all things have to be protected or covered by the epidermis. That's why we are calling the epidermis have a major role to play. So single-layered epidermis is present in the case of dicot stem and consists of many barrel-shaped cells that is covered with the cuticle. Okay, how does cell look? They are the barrel-shaped cell. Okay, barrel-shaped cell will be present in the epidermis, and these barrel-shaped cells are basically covered with the cuticle. Okay, a cuticle covering will be present on these barrel-shaped cells. Some of the epidermal cell protrude out and multicellular shoot here. Some will be converted. Okay, some like these epidermal cells. So some of the epidermal cell, not all the epidermal cell, only some epidermal cell, they can be converted into the multicellular shoot here. They can be present as a shoot here. Next, you will see here cortex. Okay, cortex is basically the ground tissue and cortex. They have little combination in the anatomical portion. So if we firstly see their cortex, so it consists of collenchymatous hypodermis. So this collenchymatous hypodermis, this is just present beneath the epidermis. First layer is epidermis. Second layer is hypodermis. So hypodermis is the collenchymatous. In the case of mostly dicot plant, the hypodermis will be collenchymatous. Did you all remember what is collenchymatous cells? Parenchymatous, collenchymatous, carenchymatous. So what kind of chlorenchymatous cells are present? What is the major structure of collenchyma cells? What is the difference between collenchyma and parenchyma? They have the thickening, okay, and they have thickening but not evenly thickening. They just have thickening on certain points on the cell. So at that time we call them the collenchyma. If they have thickening throughout the cell, we will be calling them the sclerenchyma cell. Or if they are not having any kind of thickening, we will be calling as the parenchyma cell. So here the hypodermis is collenchymatous, chlorenchyma, and an innermost layer of endodermis. Lastly, the first layer is the hypodermis. The cortex first layer is hypodermis, that is made up of collenchymatous cell. The end layer of the cortex before endodermis. Endodermis is the last layer of cortex always. But the layer which just present above the endodermis, or you can say the cortex, will be almost ended by the layer of the chlorenchyma cells. Chlorenchyma cell means the cells which have the chlorophyll inside them. If any kind of parenchyma which are having the chlorophyll cells inside them, so they will be called as the chlorenchyma. Don't get confused between the collenchyma and parenchyma. There is a spelling difference, you can see. Collenchyma, this is OLLENCHYMA. This is chlorenchyma. Chlorophyll, so you can easily distinguish between the collen and chlorine. Chlorophyll have these four letters in the starting. So if this is termed as a chlorenchyma, you can just easily difference them out that they are the cell which are having chlorophyll in them. Now the collenchyma is present just below the epidermis and in the form of 6 to 10 more layers in the ridges and only few layer or none in the furrows. So mostly these collenchyma cell, they are present in the ridges region. Okay, not present or sometimes absent, or very few layer are present in the furrows, like how I will show in the diagram here. These are called the ridges. Okay, the above one. This is called as the ridges. and this one is called as a furrow. Okay, they are the ridges and they depression. They known as the furrows. So this line diagram you are seeing here, basically at this place the collenchyma are present. Okay, and at this furrow region there are very few and there is no collenchyma tissue will be present as a hypodermis. So most of the part of the hypodermal cell, they are present in the ridges region. Okay, this. So it is very easy if someone questions you that at what position. Okay, if someone questions you that at what position these collenchymatous hypodermis is present, so you can simply answer that these collenchymatous hypodermis is present only at the ridges region. There will be no collenchymatous hypodermis that can be present at the furrow region. Okay, this is all about the hypodermis formation. Now we will be take back to the cortical parts. Now this fourth point is clear by the diagram. Now we will see the fifth point here. Chlorenchyma is present in the form of 2 to 3 layers in between in collenchyma and endodermis. Now after completing this whole layer of the hypodermis collenchymatous layer, now there will be the 2 or 3 layers of the chlorenchyma cells will be present. So if the chlorenchyma cells are present inside the stem cortex, then you can also say that the stem have the capacity to perform the photosynthesis. Means not only the leaves of the dicot stem, but also the stem itself can have the capacity to form the photosynthesis and make their own food. So these all chlorenchyma cell basically they present in between the collenchyma hypodermis and the endodermis, that is the last layer of the cortex. So its cells are filled with the chloroplasts. That's why they can do the function of the photosynthesis. Endodermis is the innermost layer of the cortex and it is wavy in outline. So if we talk about the last layer of the endodermis, that is endodermis, the cortical last layer, that is majorly wavy in the outline. And the cells are filled with the starch grain and lack Casparian strips. And all the cells of the endodermal cell basically they are filled with the starch grains and they lack Casparian strips. So basically they do not have any Casparian strip. And what is the major function of Casparian strip? They work for the transportation pathway. Okay, so that's why there is no transportation from the stellic region to the cortex. So this Casparian strip is absent in the endodermis, and all the endodermal cell they are filled with the starch grains. Next is the pericycle here. Yes, the pericycle. It consists of 4 to 5 layer thick walled and lignified sclerenchymatous tube. So basically all the type of simple tissue is differentiated here. We have parenchyma cells, parenchymus epidermis is present, collenchymatous hypodermis is present, and now we are having the sclerenchymatous pericycle. So that will not very hard to learn. That is started. The very simplest kind of simple tissue even, that is the parenchyma, and outermost layer is the epidermis. So easy most way you can learn these things that the simple tissue is present in the outermost simple tissue parenchyma that form the epidermis. Just after the epidermis, we are having the hypodermis, and that is made up of the collenchyma, which is a just modified version of the parenchyma. And after the collenchymatous hypodermis, we are having the pericycle, which start the region of the vascular stele, and this pericycle is formed by the sclerenchymatous tissue. Now all the zone, even it is epidermis zone, it is cortex zone, or it is stellic zone, stele region. All the three region has been started by the simple tissue formation, parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. So these three are the first layer of the each and every part of the dicot stem. So now it consists of 4 to 5 layers. That thick walled lignified sclerenchymatous just present below the epidermis. So this is the only feature you have to understand for the pericycle of dicot stem, that their pericycle is the sclerenchymatous, and how many layers they are having there. There are 4 to 5 layers of thick wall which are present there. So in this condition, when the pericycle is present inside any membrane or inside any anatomical structure, and it is made up of a sclerenchymatous, so this is very understandable that they are present there for giving the mechanical support. So basically, the most important function of the sclerenchymatous cell is to give mechanical support. So that's why pericycle of this dicot stem, they have a very fundamental role to play in the giving mechanical support. Now on the ground tissue, so basically the ground tissue present in the space between sclerenchyma and central pit cavity, that is filled with many thin-walled parenchymata cell. So space between this pericycle and pit, there are some space left out. So that space is filled by the ground tissue, and this ground tissue are most of the time they are the parenchymatous in nature. So you can say the parenchymatous cell of the ground tissue, that is very common. And why their plant tissue, their ground tissue are present here? What are their function? Why they are still here? So the major function of these ground tissue are for the basically for the storage, and sometimes they also work for the transportation agent. They work for the storage region, and also they can function for the transportation of one thing from one place to the another place. Next, we will see here the vascular bundle, the innermost thing. So the vascular bundle are 10 vascular bundle basically present inside the dicot stem. So you can see 10 vascular bundle. They are arranged in 2 rows of 5 each. So there will be 2 rows of vascular bundle are present here, and every row have 5 vascular bundle. So now we will see the major character of these 5 vascular bundle. So 5 vascular bundle of outer ring are present opposite and ridges, whereas the remaining 5 in the inner ring face the furrows. So basically, they are present in an opposite direction, like 5 towards the ridges and 5 towards the furrows. You see the diagram. Yes. You can see 5 vascular bundle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are present towards the ridges. Okay, they are the ridges. So they are present towards the ridges. And 5 vascular bundle, they are present towards the furrows. So total are the 10 vascular bundle here, but 5 towards the furrow region and 5 towards the ridges region. In this manner they are present, and you can see they are present in a ring formation. If you draw a line in between them, we say there will be a ring which can be formed in between them. Now, if we see the what kind of vascular bundle are present, so they are co-joint, bicollateral, open, and endark. So these are the major, you can say, characteristic of the vascular bundle of dicot stem. Co-joint means they will be joined with each other. Bicollateral, I already told you and show you the diagram of how the vascular bundle look. You can see here. This is a collaterally closed, okay, present with each other. Phloem will be here, xylem will be here, and closed. So it is called the collateral closed. If they are having this cambium in between them, and xylem here and phloem here, they will be called as a bicollaterally closed. You can see this one diagram. Yes, collateral close means just one gap in between them. Okay, these are the collateral bundles, and if they are present inside one sheath, they will be called as closed. If they are present opposite to the cambium ring, they will be called as open. But if they are present in they are having here phloem, inner phloem, then cambium, then xylem, then outer phloem. So if this kind of the arrangement will be show that the xylem is present only in the middle section and phloem is present at the top and also at the bottom region. So this kind of arrangement of vascular bundle will be known as the bicollateral type of vascular bundle. Here you can also see the hardocentric, where all the xylem is present at the center, and the phloem is present surrounding the xylem. Lipocentric, opposite, xylem will be covering the phloem. So phloem will be present at the center, and the xylem will be covering the whole phloem molecules. Now here radial in which they have to be present in a symmetry at which we cut it from anywhere, they will be divided into the two equal halves. You all know about the radial symmetry. So what happened in the radial symmetry? From at what position we cut them, they will be dividing into two equal halves. So that's why they are having this xylem, phloem, alternatively present xylem, phloem, and they will be present in such a manner that we can be able to cut them in any two equal half whatever we want to be present. So I think these all type of vascular bundle will be clear, and only one or two have been here. So you can easily now imagine how the bicollateral vascular bundle will be present. So both the side phloem will be present, and in the center there will be the xylem present. But they are open and endar. They are open. They are not covered by the bundle sheath. So if the vascular bundle is not covered by the bundle sheath, they will be known as open vascular bundle. And endark in position means they grow to the inside direction. They do not grow towards the outside direction as in root habit. Mostly at the time of root, there will be a exact condition of vascular bundle. But in the case of the stem, there will always a condition which pointed out the direction of growth towards the inside, not outside. Here, each vascular bundle consists of centrally located xylem. So every vascular bundle here have to be a centrally located xylem, surrounded on its outer and inner face by a strip of outer and inner cambia. Outside the outer cambium is present a patch of outer phloem, and inner to inner cambium is present in the inner phloem. So this is the simple arrangement which you can be seen in a bicollateral vascular bundle, like central phloem and central xylem and two patches or two layers of the cambium, and to the outer to the cambium there will be a outer phloem, and inner to the cambium there will be a inner phloem. So basically these when the xylem is covered by from all the sides, not all the sides, from the top and the bottom, if from the both the sided they will be covered by the phloem, so that is called the bicollateral, and this is the very common characteristic feature which the vascular bundle of dicot stem possesses inside them. Now the xylem consists of a wide vessels. So what are the cells of the xylem which are present in the dicot stem? You can see here, xylem consists of a wide vessel present on the outer side representing the metaxylem, and narrower vessel present towards inner side representing the protoxylem. So this is also common when we study the xylem cells. Metaxylem cells are always present the outside, and this protoxylem are present towards the inner side. So always these protoxylem, they are narrower one, they are the small one, and the outer metaxylem, they are the wider one, broad one. So xylem also contains certain tracheids, wood fiber, and xylem parenchyma. So in the case of dichotostem, the xylem basically possessing all the kind of the xylem cells. Here you can see they are trachees, they have fiber and they are having the parenchyma along with the vessels. So vessel, tracheate, fiber and parenchyma. These all four cells of the xylem is present in the dicot stem. Now if we see the further characteristic of the cambium, which is present in the form of a strip on the both the side of xylem. So that's why they are bicollateral, because the cambium is present in the strip to the each and every side. Like this diagram you can see, this is the cambium, okay, and they are present on the both the sided of the xylem. Xylem is present in center, and these are the cambium, which cambium outer, a cambium inner. Okay, the upmost cambium is known as the cambium outer, and the innermost will be known as the cambium inner. So these are the two type of cambium which are present inside the dicot stem: outer cambium and inner cambium. So outer cambium is flat and many layered. So if we talk about their structure, like how outer cambium looks, so outer cambium is flat structure and they are having many layers. But inner cambium, that is curved and they are having only few layers. So there is no, you can say there is not very much cell combination have been placed in this outer and inner cambium. You just have to remember the outer cambium is will be flat and they are having multiple layer, and inner cambium that will be curved and they are having very few layer. They are just opposite to each other. Whatever the feature is present in outer cambium, the same the opposite feature will be present in the inner cambium. Now about the phloem. So phloem is situated in the form of patches of outer phloem and inner phloem. So one phloem which present above the outer cambium, that is called outer phloem. Another phloem which present to the inner cambium, that is called the inner phloem. So you can see here the outer phloem and inner phloem, they consist of companion cell, thin-walled cell of phloem parenchyma and well-developed seed tube. So basically all the type of majority of the phloem cell are present here. They are having the companion cell, they are having the phloem parenchyma and they are having the seed tube. So all the kind of the phloem cells also present inside the dicot stem. So in short, you can say that all the type of xylem cells and all the type of the phloem cells are present in the dicot stem unit. Now if we see the pith portion, how the pith look inside the body. So thin-walled parenchymatous cell of ground tissue form the pith. Okay, so very thin-walled parenchymatous cell will be present in the pith, and their pith can be well developed. Okay, so in the case of dicot stem, there can be a situation that this pith can be developed and sometimes it is very reduced. That depends if the secondary growth take place or starting to expand, then at that time they cannot grow as much they can grow earlier. So at that time this pith can be reduced, but in the young stages pith have the, we can say pith is a very developed feature. Now what are the identification features? These all features you study about the dicot stem. But what are the identification features? Means by features which are very important and they are only present mostly in the dicot stem. So these type of features are called the identification feature. Now we will see one by one that what are the identification features that are present inside the dicot stem. So very first here, presence of vessel in xylem. Okay, that presence of vessel. This is not common. Not every plant present the vessel inside them, but having an angiospermic dicot plant, they are having the vessel inside the stem. Otherwise, all the small plants like pteridophyte and the gymnosperm, they do not have vessel inside. Vessel is a very advanced character of the xylem tissue. So that is only present inside the evolved or advanced kind of Now the vascular bundle, you already studied, they will be co-joined, bicollateral, open and intact. So this is the feature of the you can see the vascular bundle. Just write these four terms and anybody will be know that you know how the vascular bundle of dicot stem look or function. Next point here, multicellular epidermal here. So this is also not common having the multicellular epidermal stem hairs. Okay, this is also a specific feature of the dicotyledon stem. They are having these multicellular epidermal hairs. Next here, the vascular bundle that are arranged in the rings. So they are having the vascular bundle which will be arranged in a ring. Next, presence of cambium. Cambium is present because dicot plant are, they are designed to do the secondary growth. And if there will be no cambium present inside them, then there will be no secondary growth take place. So that's why presence of these cambium is very important to do the secondary growth. Well differentiated cortex and well developed pith. Okay, both the thing is present here. Well differentiated cortex, like how the cortex has been differentiated. They are having the colon chimeras hypodermis, they are having the chlorine chimeras layers, they are having parenchymatous cells, and they are having the last layer endodermis, which was filled by the starch grains. So in this proportion, when something is formed, we can call them the well-developed thing. These are all the type of the vascular bundle we already discussed. A special point, if we talk about a very special point of these dicot stem, they are the presence of this bicollateral open vascular bundle. Okay, this is not a feature that is commonly present in every kind of stem or root or leaf. This presence of bicollateral open vascular bundle is special point of these dicot stem. Now this is a diagram. You can easily correlate this diagram now. The very outermost layer, this is epidermis, and basically epidermis is covered with this cuticle. Okay, epidermis will be covered by the cuticle, and these hairs, you can see they are the multicellular hair. 1, 2, 3, 4 cells, 5 cells, or whatever the cell they composite the hair, they will be the multiple cells. Just after this epidermis, we are having the colon chimeras cells which form the hypodermal region, and after this colon chimeras cell, you can see the dotted cells. So these dotted cells are the chlorenchyma. So what are the function of chlorenchyma parenchymatous cell? They work for the photosynthesis. Now these chlorenchymatous cell, we are having the endodermis here. The endodermis is, you can see this very light structure. Endodermis will be present here. They are made up of the barrel shaped cell, and also they are having the starch grain in them. Okay. After this very dark structure, this is the pericycle, and the pericycle, why it is looking so dark? Because the pericycle here, that is made up of the sclerenchymatous cells. Okay, sclerenchymatous cells made this whole pericycle. That's why it is very dark in the color. After this, these all tissues, you can see these the very large tissues and the oval shaped tissue. These are the ground tissue. Okay, these all are the ground tissue which present all along to the stellate region, and this is called the whole stellate region. You can see that in this case, the pericycle, and between the pericycle and the stellate region, we are having these ground tissue. Now in this diagram, I think you are not able to difference out between the vascular bundle, but in this you can easily difference them out. You can easily see that how these 10 vascular bundle are arranged, and in the center they are having a well-developed pith. Pith also present in a wavy outline. Okay, that is not like rounded pith. Most of the pith are present rounded in shape, but in this case, the pith is also a little diagonal. You can see here, they are having this pointed ends. So this is all about your dicot stem. Now we will move through the question part. Okay, monocot stem we will take it in the next lecture. I think you can answer the first question now. Sclerenchymatous hypodermis is present in. You already studied these all the thing and give the exam.
Ma'am,
Hypodermis. Sclerenchymatous
hypodermis, ma'am.
And pith is almost absent in. The second question. I think you can answer this question. Pith is also almost absent in.
Dicot.
Ma'am, monocot stem.
Monocot stem, because dicot stem have the developed pith. So obviously the pith is almost absent in monocot stem. And sclerenchymatous hypodermis.
Ma'am, it's ma'am, dicot.
No. Manish, sclerenchymatous hypodermis. Monocot stem, dicot leaf, or rhizoids.
Rhizoids.
Why? What are rhizoids? You know that the sclerenchymatous hypodermis is present in rhizoids. So what are rhizoids? Okay, I've uploaded this question on your LMS. Just go there and answer these questions. Reticulate venation showed by lower epidermis have stomata in taproot system. Dicot root have which kind of root system? Collenchymatous cortex having. Actually, answer this question. Collenchymatous cortex having. Collenchymatous cortex.
Ma'am, chloroplast.
Collenchymatous. Already told
Yeah,
you.
ma'am,
Don't
it's
confuse. Huh.
ma'am, side border thickening.
Yes, side border thickening. Okay, full lignification will be present in sclerenchyma. Chloroplast will be present in the chlorenchymatous. And grana, they cannot be present because grana is only present in chlorenchymatous. So obviously, what is will be left with side border thickening. Bast is, anyone you know what is bast? Bast formation. Bast
Ma'am,
is, bast is
bast is a fibers.
secondary fluid. Okay, we call them the secondary fluid in the bast. Okay, so these are also some references, and you can go through for the better understanding of the dicot stem. And also, if you didn't understand anything, you can ask me. Is everything clear, or you wanted to ask me something?
No, ma'am.